Hi, welcome. On this video, I want to do a part two follow-up by way of Shield Canine, dog here called Mace. The same dog that put its owner in the hospital by way of a aggression, by way of a bite. And here, I want to talk about some of the warning signs, okay, by way of allowing this dog to express control. Again, you're dealing with a dog here that um, is at a very high level in terms of social need, what trainers refer to as a high drive dog. And so again, talk about establishing the relationship, the importance of that in terms of making sure that you're perceived the right way, okay, before you start to extend this dog's ability to express control at a level in which sets up a problem. And you're going to see the warning signs here. I'm going to talk about this, okay? So here is the trainer. And again, we talk about, being toll booth, as I call it, by way of basically the dog seeing you as the ability to kind of, throw a quarter in and everything, control being allowed to be expressed, but not in right relationship, okay? The appearance as though like a runner ready to take off, out of the starting gate. But pay attention because you'll see it. Is how this dog is, expressing control. The level of stinking thinking is already happening here. This is a setup that's prior to the owner of this dog being bitten. But this comes through, established by way of, of the relationship being defined in and through the trainer. Okay, the setup for this can be seen. Okay, how this is all being set in motion here. So I'm going to play some of this video. I'm going to stop along the way to talk about the warning signs. Okay, the warning signs, you'll see it.
All right, guys, so I know a lot of you have been asking, so I'm going to give you a quick little update with Mace here. As I mentioned earlier, me and him are good.
So this dog is already, okay, on the wrong path here. Okay, you see this dog coming up into the personal space of this trainer in a way that represents, okay, control happening, being funneling. Okay, this owner faded out, so this dog is already seeing this the human as an extension of, okay, control manifesting itself, but without being perceived the right way. Okay, you'll see it. Okay, this is like a funneling type of situation. So this dog is rearing up into the personal space of this trainer. Okay, but in a way in which control is already not being set up as a conditional state. Okay, you'll start to see this happen.
Good friends. He's still a lot, but we're able now to train safely.
Because this environment here too, okay, and this is the issue here. You'll see it. This environment is associated to control being expressed through bite work. Okay, this is the association part as well. Okay, so again, you'll see how this dog is relating to that. Okay, this is about relationship.
I have no concerns about my safety working with him. He's a very nice dog. Again,
I'd be very concerned. Okay, I mean that's the difference about being dialed into, okay, a process. Okay, I talk about the core ingredients: influence and control. Okay, how it sets up right relationship, how it sets up perceptions the right way. So you see how this dog is keyed up here. But just pay attention.
Still a lot, but that's okay. We like a lot. So right now, the name of the game is to build a proper obedience foundation.
Superficial. Okay, when it's talking about building obedience, it's about relationship. Okay, it's about, relationship. But again, it's about being dialed into, the relationship, but also the dog's state of mind. Okay, so understand that once you have a right foundation, okay, you'll start to see stuff. Okay, you'll start to understand, you start to look at a dog's, state of mind, dog's level of fixation and focus. Okay, you see how the dog's focus will shift around, and the dog is very keyed up here. You pay attention here as we do this. You'll see how this dog's head's swiveling, but you'll also start to see in terms of the dog wanting that desire, that focus, that wanting to engage, that wanting to express control.
Because, as I've mentioned before, the dog doesn't have a good obedience foundation as far as I'm concerned. Stop that.
See, and so he's like, now, so you see cherry picking certain moments, like stop that, right? But it's not, it doesn't make sense to the dog, okay? He intercepted that moment, okay? But this dog is already so keyed up.
He's a nice active dog, but he wastes a ton.
But even here, okay, and talk about this whole thing about, about interaction, okay, control, intentional control. You see this, it's about, again, how it's expressed through the human. So here you see this trainer stepping towards this dog. Even how the trainer is interacting here in certain moments.
Ton of energy, just a ton of energy just being wasted, whether it's in the bite work, the obedience.
Because this dog's head's going to pivot around here. This dog's always, it's like a targeting thing.
So by the time you get him doing anything productive, he gets tired relatively quickly because see
the head swivel around here, because you can tell there's a lot of activity that's already been happening here through this dog expressing control through bite work. Okay, this dog's head's pivoting. Now, again, one of the little kind of takeaways here, okay, and you'll see it that level of kind of how you can tell is, for example, intentionally putting a person out here with a sleeve on, okay, and how you can tell this dog is, you can see it even here without even doing that, but putting someone out here and then turn this dog completely opposite, okay, and getting this dog to settle down, okay. I call it the turnaround method, right? You're turning opposite, and a dog like this will start to escalate. Okay, doesn't like that because you bring this dog under intentional control. You're saying, no, you're not going to invest that way. You're not even going to be able to look at that person. And a dog like this will start to go really into a level of wanting to, because again, because the relationship isn't established the right way, this dog will redirect on that person, get so upset. And see, that's a bad sign. Okay, because everything needs to come in and through, okay, the relationship the right way. I talk about conditional state, okay, and express state. So even control itself, how that's expressed, has to be expressed the right way, in and through, defined through the perception of the dog changing the right way. Okay, an extension of the human to the relationship.
He wastes a ton of energy. So I want you to think of him as like a big bottle of Coca-Cola, and you've shaken that bottle.
Because this dog is like saying, because there's a certain expectation. It's like signing a contract. Okay, this dog is already, that contract is not being signed the right way here. Okay, you can tell that dog is like expectation. Hey, I can control me. It's like this dog already has a high level of need. You can tell this dog is a high level, and so this is not lining up.
Bottle, okay, but there's multiple holes in the bottle. So all the energy that has built up in that bottle is now being dissipated everywhere. Whereas I want there to be.
See that? The dog is saying, hey, I want. So this indicates just the overall current state of the relationship. The contract's already been signed the wrong way here at such a level, okay, that this is setting up these moments where this dog is upset, has a certain expectation. The person's faded out. So this is happening through certain moments here of this dog, how this dog is keyed up. This dog is in an environment where the contract's been signed that way. So the warning signs are here that bad things are coming, okay? That a bad moment can be set in motion so easily where someone's going to take a hit.
I want there to be one hole in the bottle. Quiet. Still. Okay, I want there to be one hole in the bottle, okay? Because when there's one hole in the bottle, then I can direct all that energy into specific tasks without the dog. Enough. Without the dog.
So just superficial. Just like, hey, go into a down. This dog is saying, hey, I'll do, because this is the problem. Being faded out. Hey, if I do A, because this is going to calm it down, because the trainer look at this like, oh, that's you know, that's obedience. The dog went into a position, but it's been tied into the contract's been already signed the wrong way to this level of expressing control. It's in and through where it's not coming together through those core ingredients I talked about. Influence and control are not coming in and defined through a proper interaction-based process that's going to reconcile the relationship. Okay, so understand. So even when this trainer starts to say, hey, you know, go into a down, that dog is not settled in that way where being perceived because the contract's already hasn't been signed properly. Okay, so here the dog goes in down and say, hey, if I do this, I'm still going to get what I want. I can still express control, but through a certain response. Right? It's not being defined properly here. This dog's still going on.
No. No, don't do that. Without the dog wasting his energy like he does now, right? So we've got to teach him to control himself. We've got to create impulse control. So like I said...
Impulse control, okay? I mean, no, there's none of that, okay? It just, you know, that's the problem here. The setup, we're getting blindsided by bad things happen because, you know, you guys I can look at this dog and say, this dog is not in right relationship, okay? This dog, it's not about breaking the dog's spirit or drive either, okay? There's a coming together, okay? There's a level of where the perception has changed. This dog is seeing that, you know, everything is defined in and through the relationship. Okay, there's going to be a certain level of calmness here, right? There's a certain expectation. It's like red light, yellow light, green light. Okay, there's no red light, and there's barely a yellow light. Okay, understand that.
We start to work on the grips. I took the grips back to square one.
So right there, this dog's head spinning around. This is where, you know, intentional control through that leash, and those moments should be intercepted. It's not about correction that way where you're cranking on this dog. Okay, it's just picking moments just as this dog is starting to, because there's a level of stinking thinking already happened here. It's already happening. Okay, so this training's already faded out.
Show you some small pieces of that, and then I also, like I said, I'm working the obedience from the ground level upwards. So I'm working him in the position box. I'm doing some healing work with him. Soon I'm going to introduce the ball to him, and he's going to learn how to.
This dog is just targeted.
Play properly, all these types of things. But, you know, very happy with the dog as...
You know, it's the same thing in terms of say, police canine tracking, okay? If, you know, if it's not tied in, if the dog if control is not happening defined properly where it's a conditional state, what happens is the dog will start bringing their head up off the track.